Our headlining act, are you guys excited? Only one act in this section, so he better be good. No pressure. Put your hands together for my very good friend, Riggs. Alright? It's very nice to meet you. I've heard a lot about you. It's all been good, I promise, yeah. You well? You good? He's treated you well? I like a well-maintained audience, me. It's nice. I've got 20 minutes, so I'm going to do all of my jokes. I hope you're happy about it. Before I start, I'd like to... we got any Susans in? No. You answering for the whole room there, sir? He's done a survey just before the start of the gig, made sure he got everyone's first name. He's like, no. But basically, people have told me that I'm not very relatable stand-up, so I thought, be more relatable, be more edgy, do you know what I mean? Locate all the Susans in the country, do you know? It's because it's one of those names I just always grew up around, and it always surprised me there's not that many Susans, but when I was growing up, all of my mums were Susans. Like, every single one of my mums is called Susan. Like, my birth mum, you may have seen her about. She's from London. She's got quite a spacious womb. I lived there for 9 months, one of the cheapest short-haul tenancies I ever had. Honestly, she's called Susan, right? And then my stepmum, led to believe she's also got a womb. I've never visited. But I'm going to shock you. She's also called Susan. What I'm trying to say is my dad fucking loves a Susan, at least for a bit. Cut my dad, he bleeds Susans, that's what I like to say. Sometimes I think about his chat blind, he goes to the bar, Susan's already there, that's Newson. That's new Susan. She doesn't like that joke as much as me, I'll tell you. She's already there, glass of wine in her hand, hair all in rollers, classic Susan. She's like, my name's Susan, and I work out, and he'd be like, I'll stop you there. You have me at Susan. Alright, cool. We're easing in, man. I like to do it. It's a bit like watching golf, do you know what I mean? I ease it in, and then we get to the 18th hole, it gets a little bit more exciting. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. I'm an ex-northerner. We got any other ex-northerners in? Yeah, where did you used to be from?
Near Newcastle.
Near Newcastle, and how long you been down here for? You fuck the north now. I'm never going back. And there's actually more rain in Brighton. It's way more expensive, but that's how bad the north is. Do you know what I mean? I've lived in Brighton for 15 years now, and I'm like, fuck the north, dude. I'm doing loads of mad stuff and shit, started drinking decaf tea. Do you know what I mean? They just won't let you back after that point. I don't even have the heart to tell my family about it, do you know what I mean? I go up north all hopped up on caffeine, do you know what I mean? They're like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I just don't feel connected to you emotionally. I started doing other mad shit, I started having feelings and emotions like all you guys have got, I joined a support group and it's the first time I ever really felt like a southerner, do you know what I mean? Really fucking got in there. I had an anxiety attack recently and I was like, yes, I've arrived, do you know what I mean? One of you fucking soft twats now. When I was having my anxiety attack, I never had one before, I thought I was having a heart attack. So I phoned the non-emergency number. Do you know how little your self-esteem has got to be? That you don't think your own death is an emergency. Do you know what I mean? I phoned him up, I was like, I'm sorry to bother you. I just think I'm dying of a heart attack. And she said, well, if you think you're dying of a heart attack, maybe get a taxi to the hospital. And this is the point that I realised I was probably still quite northern, because I was like, taxi. That's going to be 15 quid, that, do you know what I mean? I walked to the hospital, smoked 2 fags during my heart attack. Do you know what I mean? I find the north to be a real scary place. I've got 2 kids, right? I took my daughter, she's 14, I took her camping in this town called Skipton, it's in the Yorkshire Dales. My daughter went to the toilet, there was a cleaning lady in the toilet and she was missing 3 fingers on her left hand, and then she complimented my daughter's fingers. She said my daughter had real nice fingers. What am I supposed to do with that information, do you know what I mean? I can't go to sleep at that night with a fucking Blair Witch project happening outside my tent, do you know what I mean? It's fucking terrifying, you wake up in the morning with a little wooden parcel of your daughter's fingers there just outside the fucking tent. The fucking north is terrifying, man. I come from a town called Darlington, which sounds nice, it's got Darling in the name, but it's fucking horrible. There's a village next to it called Great Burden, which I think is a better name just for the whole area. Do you know what I mean? Just fucking call it that. It's horrible. Down here, it's loads better. We got the annual naked bike ride, and no one gives a fuck. Do you know what I mean? In Brighton, no one gives a fuck. We do that. Does that not happen in winter? It's fucking mental. Do you know what I mean? People are going into Primark. It doesn't matter. Like up in Darlington, if you see a naked dude on a bike, someone has stolen that guy's clothes. Do you know what I mean? And then that naked dude, he's then gone on to nick a bike. Hasn't he? Because what kind of person would steal a man's clothes but let him keep his bike? Well, someone that I'd ever like to meet. Anyway, I'll tell you. It's hard having kids, man. You just got kids. Yeah, having the tired ones at the front, man. I'm surprised you're still awake, man. So how old are your kids? How old are your kids?
5.
5? All of them? Or just one? Just the one? You got one? What's your kid called, man?
Dylan.
Dylan? Yeah. That's nice, man. You like it? Did you like him? And do you have any strong feelings towards this child? It's hard though, man. I've got 2 kids. My kids are 14.
He's adopted.
Huh?
He's adopted.
He's a what?
Adopted.
He's adopted. Oh, that's nice. That's cool. How long have you had him for?
3
Why are you laughing at adoption? Have you heard this down here? What's going on down here? Are you guys adopted? No, but you just hate adoption. What's going on? You're like, your fucking womb doesn't work. Sorry, I don't. If that's true, I'm very sorry. Well, that's very nice of you. Give up for it. He's fucking adopting children over here. That's fucking nice. But it gets hard, is my point. Basically, my daughter's like 14, and I try and like bond with her and that. Like she goes to school, like, you know, obviously, but I'll say like what you're learning about in history, and she'll just go like the past and then walk off, and I'm like, I'm gonna need more information than that. Do you know what I mean? It's hard. Like I took my son, he's 13 now, but he used to be 11. I'm gonna fucking blow your mind right now. We took him on his first ever roller coaster, and it was like Chessington World of Adventures. You ever been? Yeah, it's like fucking ultimate queuing land in there, do you know what I mean? It's like an hour and a half average queue length. It fucking sucks. You've gone like 3 roller coasters in one day and it's bollocks, right? But have you ever, we're waiting for this thing called the Dragon's Fury. Have you seen that? It's like the waltzers and a roller coaster, and it's fucking quite scary for your first ever roller coaster, right? And he was in the queue. I don't know if you ever looked in the eyes of a child and seen an equal mix of boredom and fear. Right? It's an odd thing. It's like he was on the 3rd year of a kidnap. Do you know what I mean? Like it was scary at first, but he has started to settle in. He's got posters on the wall like, where's this child? Do you know what I mean? That sort of thing. But we went on this ride, right, and he was so scared when they strapped him in, and I said, the only way we're going to get through this ride is I'm going to let you just sort of shout and swear as much as you want on the ride, and we just won't ever talk about it ever again. And then as the ride started to set off, I was like, what have I let myself in for here? Because I've heard what kids say. He plays Fortnite online. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, just don't be racist, son. Do you know what I mean? There's people behind us. Right? Just remember that. But when we got to the first drop, and I was actually quite proud of him for this, all he shouted on the ride was he shouted shit on a biscuit like 40 times. He was like, shit on a biscuit! Shit on a biscuit! And it was the waltzers that did weird things to his voice. It was like, shit on a biscuit! And I was like, dude, that's fucking quite creative. I was proud of him. I was like, dude, like people don't normally shit on biscuits. You know what I mean? That's come from your brain, that. Do you know what I mean? And if people did shit on biscuits, you wouldn't want to eat that biscuit. I'm like, where has he got this from? Do you know what I mean? He's going to be an artist. Proud of him. The worst thing about having kids, man, is sometimes you have to go to a school play and them dudes cannot act. It sounds harsh to say, but they aren't trained. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's actually quite disrespectful to actors to say that they can act. Do you know what I mean? Like we were watching The Lion King, right? My daughter was in The Lion King, and the only good thing about it was Mufasa was northern. Mufasa was a northern child. He was like, one day, son, all of this will be yours! He's like, what about that dark place over there? He's like, don't ever go there, son. That is Middlesbrough, that. That's cool, man. You guys are a real nice crowd, man. People don't say that enough about you, but I'm going to say it now. I put that down and then picked it straight back up again. Okay, right. I received a dick pic last week. Whoa, blindside your kid's dick pic, right? Turns out I just got the email address wrong and they were returning the penis that I had sent. I send my dick pics via email. It's the only way to quit your job, honestly. I would like to send a dick pic via fax. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? Your nan's just sat there and the printer starts going and that's your nan, not my nan. I moved in with a guy who's got an Alexa. Has anyone got an Alexa? Wow, cool. Is there no one wants to say in case they set it off? Is that what's going on there? She's been listening to a shag and everything's fucking wild. I'd never had an Alexa before, and it connects to Audible, right? So as a joke, I said, Alexa, read Mein Kampf. And it said, resuming Mein Kampf. So I'm looking for somewhere to live. But when I was growing up, I thought that everyone was saying adult Hitler. You know, adult Hitler. Honestly, for years, I thought that everyone was saying adult Hitler. Adult Hitler. It made a lot of sense to me, because that is the worst period of Hitler, isn't it? It just is. Do you know what I mean? When you think about all the Hitler periods, the adult part fucking went off piste, I'm going to say. Like, because people are always like, if I had a time machine, I'd go back in time and kill baby Hitler, but I'm like, fucking leave baby Hitler alone, dude. Baby Hitler's not done anything wrong. Do you know what I mean? Baby Hitler's got dreams. Baby Hitler wants to be an artist, you know, and he might get there. You won't, but you will try. If you want to kill babies so much, we've got plenty of babies here. Don't go to the trouble of inventing time travel. Do you know what I mean? Cool, man. I like the people on the back row more than the people on the middle row. That's cool, man. I'm not very good at life, right? I don't think I've ever successfully towel dried myself. I've tried, but I just spend quite a lot of my time wet. Can anyone relate to that? No? You're pretty dry people. I'm fucking proud of you, man. You know what I mean? Like, I shower, right, normally, right, obviously. Like, normally, just with the water and that from above. Key that, by the way. When it comes from underneath, that is a bath. And then you get out and you're 100% wet, right? You're on board so far. You get your towel, that's 100% dry, all right? And then you start towel drying yourself, you know? Do it, you know? Right? And then eventually you're 50% drier, but the towel's 50% wetter. But then inevitably you move the wet part of the towel back onto the dry bit again, don't you? Making you moist once more. And then you just, I lie down on the floor and let the air dry me. I don't get a whole lot done, to be honest. But we're sharing, that's what we're doing here. I'm an awkward guy is what I'm trying to say. I'm an awkward guy. I once failed to start an orgy. Can't get more awkward than that, you know what I mean? You sat at a party waiting for a vibe that no one else is expecting. So, have you ever Googled how many paracetamol it takes to kill yourself? I could rephrase that question. Has anyone ever tried open mic stand-up comedy? No, honestly, on Google, right, it says you've got to take between 30 and 80 paracetamol to kill yourself. How wild is that? 30 to 80. What's the point in that top number? Why isn't it 30 or more? What happens if you take 81? Oh no, he's killed himself too much! Cool. Hey, I came out as bisexual a couple of years ago. Alright, cool, there's my crowd. No one cared though, man. I kept the secret for 24 years. Who's give me a cheer if you came out before? Yeah, cool. Right? You're not very seem unsure about it now, to be honest. But it's fine in front of the family, but not this room full of strangers, dude. I'm keeping my cards close to my chest right now. I came out, but I expected something to happen, right? 24 years, I thought that there was going to be riots in the street or something. Like, not this guy, do you know what I mean? But no one cared, and I was like, fuck. I started to feel like maybe I was the most homophobic one. Do you know what I mean? Is it me? It's just me. It was sad though, man. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm in my mid-30s, you know what I mean? So I got on this app called Grindr. Anyone else on it? I will know. I'll know. I'll tell you why. I've got it set to 30 meters radius. Do you know how fucking terrifying that is? Most apps are like miles and kilometers, but Grindr is like you've matched with a guy who's 2 meters away from you right now. And then you turn around and he's got no trousers on. And he is already in your kitchen. And you've got no trousers on either. And then he slowly moves. Sorry, anyway, sorry. I tried to find the most normal looking dude I could find on there, right? And honestly, his name was Two Aubergines. His name was Aubergine. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know if he's like mad posh. You know what I mean? That's like Mr. Aubergine to you. So, but he asked me what I was there for, right? So I was a bit new, and I was like, I'm bisexual, not just gay, and so I'm here for the mixed meze platter, not just your baba ganoush. He was dressed like half a builder, by which I mean I had a hard hat on, and that's the end of that sentence. So me and my girlfriend broke up because of all the stuff that I just said. It'll happen. Nah, she said I was too self-centered, and then she said something else, but honestly, I wasn't listening after that point. When I came out, I was living in London, and we used to go out to Soho quite a bit. It's quite good if you just come out as gay, go to Soho, bisexual, whatever. But like, it's kind of crazy. Like, you get a lot of like evangelical sort of preacher sort of guys who were trying to convert the gays, you know, that sort of, them sort of people. And this one guy was outside this bar in Soho with a megaphone, and he was talking about the perils of masturbation and that, right? And he was saying you'll go to hell if you masturbate, right? If you've ever looked directly into the face of another man and been like, dude, you actually need to come more. Do you know what I mean? Look where your life has taken you without coming. Do you know what I mean? Put the megaphone down, go home, bit of fucking Pornhub, man, sort your fucking life out. And then he said, all of the world's problems are caused by men coming on stuff. All of the world's problems are caused by men coming on stuff. I was like, hey, most of the sometimes there's just a hurricane, mate. Sometimes it's just an earthquake. I don't care how big your dick is. You're not the reason for the San Andreas fault. You're just not the reason for it. So the worst heckle I ever got, right, I was not really a heckle, it was, I sort of started it, to be honest. It happens, you know what I mean, I've never met you guys before, you know what I mean, you could be anyone. But this guy was doing this gig in Hove, right, and this guy was in the crowd, he's a really old guy, right, but it's important that he's old, right, but I mean, he was like old, he was like see-through, he's trench foot in the wall old, you know what I mean, and he was vaping, and I thought it'd be fun little quip to say, if I was your age, I'd probably just keep smoking. Do you know what I mean? And then he said that he had survived cancer, which really derails a gig. Do you know what I mean? He's not even here. No, he's still alive, but he's not even here. And it's derailed this gig. Do you know what I mean? and I'm still saying it. What the fuck? But so after the gig, I was like, so I felt bad, obviously. So I got everyone to applaud for him and shit. And then after the gig, I went to find him, and I was like, I'm really glad that you survived cancer. Sorry for bringing it up on stage. It's, you know, it's triggering or whatever. And he said, I made that up. And I said, you made it up? And he said, yeah. And he said, I made that up to help you out. Now, I've done some bad gigs in my time, all right, but never in my life have I had to have a person I don't even know create a terminal illness that he miraculously survived just so I could do my job at a passable level. I hope he did died of imaginary cancer. So, I hate horses. Who's with me? Fuck horses. Do you know what I mean? They've been around. Fuck them. They're too muscly. They're always ready. I was talking about this to a crowd before, right? And I said, name me another animal that's all muscle. And they said a shark. And I said, you're not making me feel any better about fucking horses, are you? Do you know what I mean? Shark. Great. Cool, man. I was like, horses are the fucking, sharks are the horses of the sea. And then I remembered, you know, seahorses. wasn't my brightest moment, that, to be honest. But I feel like if I had a horse, if I like a pet horse, you have to call them pets, I don't know. They're just there, isn't it? They're just in the fucking garden, needing a whole lot of hay that I can't afford. Do you know what I mean? I feel like if I had a horse, I would be the horse in that situation. Like, we're just gonna ride you now. Do you know what I mean? Like, this dynamic has gone on for too long. Like, we're just gonna ride you around the barn. I'll be just being ridden around the barn by a giant horse. Like, sometimes when I watch films like Braveheart, I imagine it's the horses that have got a problem with each other. And the guy on the back is just like an afterthought. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know who this guy is, but I fucking hate that other horse. You know what I mean? They should make a film about horses at war, and then I remembered War Horse was the thing. Do you know what that film's about? It's so self-explanatory. It's a horse at war. The trailer's real simple. It's just a horse at war. Do you want to know what happens in chapter 4? The horse is at fucking war, mate. That horse has seen so much war. It's a fucking war horse. Maybe we should call the film War Horse. God, they're so fucking smart. And no wonder they go on strike, do you know what I mean, the writers? Because they're so fucking... They work so hard. Do you know what I mean? They've watched that whole film and they've gone, that's about a war horse, that. That is about a war horse, do you know what I mean? What about that one, the ship that sinks? What was the ship? The ship was called Titanic. We just go with Titanic, mate. We don't have to fucking, we're done. That's our day done. But we'll go on straight, fuck it, I don't know why I'm having to go at people in the industry I want to be in. Very odd. But to be honest, I'm jealous of horses. I'm fucking jealous of them, right? Because when a horse is born, it just comes straight out of the womb. It's a fully formed horse. It's a ready-to-go horse. It's a boil-in-a-bag horse. Do you know what I mean? But when we're born, we can't do fuck all for like 3 years. We live off tits for 3 years. It's mad when you think about it, like, do you know what I mean? That's your mum's tits. When you really think about that, that's fucking quite mad. It's important to stop after the 3 years, by the way. Get into your mid-30s, they'll kick you off the bus. I'll tell you that, that's for fucking sure. And if you're like, well, I don't like cow's milk, just have an alternative, just have some soy. Leave your mum alone. Do you know what I mean? She's been through enough. You know, she's raised you. Do you know what I mean? You didn't like that joke at all. I didn't mean you personally, I meant you. That's good, you don't know who I'm talking about. But it's the reason why I think that centaurs, you know centaurs? They're the least likely of all mythical creatures, aren't they? Whenever you see a centaur in a film like Lion, the Witch, Wardrobe, it's like beating the odds and made it to full adulthood, right? It's a full centaur. But in reality, if that centaur was only 1 year old, the back half of it, the back half it's a fully formed horse. But the front half is barely even a toddler. Do you know what I mean? So this thing just crawling around on the forest floor, just being sick on itself, refusing to go to bed on time. I just don't think any of them would have survived. I don't. If you are offended by any of this material, don't worry. I'm a Sagittarius, so I can say it. You guys have been great, man. My name's been Riggs. I hope you had a great night. I'll see you later.